For the third year in a row, iLEAD is organizing Future Vista, the New Age Careers, a conclave that will witness the presence of dignitaries from various sectors, and the panels will discuss the changes and growth in the respective sectors along with the emerging new age career options.
Experts will highlight strategic thinking's importance, examining the latest trends in management, emphasizing the need for innovation and effective decision-making strategies.
What, as a banker, and I picked up one from your CV that he was saying that, and something that is personally very important to me is the customer service relationship, customer service and customer relationship. So, how important it has become for the bank of now than it was in the past? How it has changed? How important it has become?
For any service organization, including a bank, sir, customers are the center point. You do not have any existence in service sector if you do not take care or do not take due care of your customers. First 18 years I worked in a public sector bank. I saw that the bankers are masters of their own. They hardly bothered about customers. Very few people who are genuinely interested in doing customer service. Otherwise, the customers were at the mercy of the bankers. I got the worst experience in my banking career in Calcutta. 13 years of service in banking I saw in Calcutta. The customers are at the whims of the bankers. People come to deposit, fixed deposits, and staffs do not do it. See the audacity. That time I thought that I am not the right person for this public sector bank. I went next day to Standard Chartered Bank to see what is happening there. It's a foreign bank. I found nothing much difference. And the same year, the new private sector banks, this UTI Bank, then Axis Bank was earlier UTI Bank, ICICI Bank, HDFC Bank, IndusInd. 10 banks were given new license in the year 1994, and they were getting little older by that time, by 2002. So somebody called me, my friends who have been in ICICI Bank, why don't you join there? I told my wife also works in State Bank of India. And I was in a public sector bank, I was a middle level manager. Why should I go from a comfortable job, fixed job, permanent job to a private sector? And I have a lot of apprehensions. I went to the interview, I asked more questions than what I replied to. How I would be secured? I am with 12 years of experience. How you want to use me? What you want to get me? Then they asked me one thing. Sales is a very common term over here. My interviewer, a president, asked me, Mr. Sahu, how comfortable you are with sales? I could not understand what is sales in banking. After 12 years of my service, when I appeared my first interview, I could not understand. Then they laughed. I asked, sir, if you are done, would you explain me what is sales in banking? The HR head, the president replied, it is doing deposits, it is giving loans, and it is earning revenue. In that category, I was the best. But if that is called sales, sir, I do the sales most and the best without knowing what is sales called in the banking scenario.
To you, Mr. Moitra, I'd like to ask, as a person who has seen a lot of industries and worked in various places, how has the definition of leadership?
I think to a leader's mind, what happens now is first how my people are doing, how my team is doing. And that's where leadership starts. So I think that's a paradigm shift that has happened over a period of time. And this has happened because I would say of the business world changing, the economics changing, how we do business, that's changing. Steve Jobs and all these people coming into the scene and changing the entire dynamics of marketing and sales and business and how we do it. So I think today's leader has to be humble. Today's leader has to be open-minded, transparent. Today's leader has to work with his people. It is not that he is in charge, but he'll make the others in charge. Empower people, give them the authority. And that is where innovation will come. That is where ideas will come from. Because when we empower you to make mistakes, that is where you will be open and you will make mistakes, learn, and come back as a full and well-rounded professional. So that is what today's leaders look forward to from a team. In leadership, where I first do that thing, I taste that, and then I ask my people to do that. So if I ask my people to stay late and work 10 hours, I would first stay 10 hours in the office, work 10 hours and see how it feels. And then I'll tell people that you also work 10 hours. So that is my kind of leadership.
So what are the new career in sports that is coming up that should excite all these students?
Right now, sports, as I have already mentioned, that is a growing business. And if you consider the government organizations like the Sports Authority of India or the Department of Sports or various governments, they have realized that there is the requirement of the professional sports managers to run the business of sports. And they have started appointing the sports managers to run their business. For example, the government of West Bengal, they are having 3 different academies: table tennis academy, football academy, and archery academy. And all the directors are the sports management professionals. Similarly, we have the federations and the associations, and they have to run their own business. They have to make the activities viable, financially viable. And therefore, they also have realized that there is the requirement of the professional sports managers who can understand how to prepare a sponsorship proposal, how to deliver the proposal, how to get the sponsor on board, how to do the activation program, sponsorship activation. So they also require the infrastructure management, where they have to manage the infrastructure, they have to maintain the infrastructure, they have to market the infrastructure so that they can attract the event organizers, so that their entire infrastructure management that would be financially viable. And at the same time, apart from the governments and the federations, we have a number of sports management companies which are operating throughout the India, throughout the country. And they are providing diversified services. Some of them are at the grassroots, some of them are running the academies, some of them are into infrastructure management, some of them are organizing elite sports competitions. So, opportunities, there are ample opportunities that sports management right now can offer. But, there are a few requirements. Number one, passion for sports. Sports management should not be considered as an option that I cannot do anything in any other field. So sports management, that's a growing industry. Sports managers, they need to understand techniques of doing the business of sports, because sports management is becoming very complex. There are a number of stakeholders who are associated with the business of sports with different requirements. We need to understand the requirements of the sponsors, requirements of the broadcasters, and also when we are looking at sponsorship, we need to understand how efficiently we can divide the properties into various parts, and each and every part how it can be sold to the market at the highest price so that the revenue can be generated. Job is something that anyone can do after the completion of any particular course, but they have to understand the career, and that is a long-term perspective. Without understanding the complexities of the management of sports, developing a career, that would be difficult.
As a sports presenter, what are the challenges and what should the students know if they want to take up those, especially with media sciences, if they want to take up, like you did, sports presenter job, what are the challenges they are likely to face?
Firstly, the job of a presenter is quite glamorous. I wouldn't disagree that it's a very, very glamorous job. It is. You're coming in front of the camera, you're coming on TV, so many people are seeing you. With that, there's a lot of accountability as well. You're reaching out to a large set of audience, so you have to be very, very particular about what you say. One challenge I faced, Mr. Guha, was keeping a clear mindset. Now, it's not the general notion that you have to be very calm when you go in front of the camera. Apart from picking up the right questions, there's also one thing which Mr. Guha is doing really right, and every host, moderator or a presenter needs to do, is picking out the next question from the answer of what that person is saying. Suppose I'm an interviewer and I'm interviewing someone. It's not question 1, question 2, question 3. We do not go like this. I ask question 1. There's some value that I can ask from the answer of question 1. So that is another challenge initially people face. The other challenges which people face is presentability. It's a very underrated quality. Making sure that your hair is trimmed, making sure you're presentable in front of the camera. That is something which you guys need to take care initially. You need to think from day one that you're a celebrity. Now, not in a very, very privileged point of view, not in a very glamorous point of view. By what I mean by celebrity is taking care of your presentability, making sure you're presentable in front of the camera. Because nowadays, the TV presenters and all the anchors, the first thing they look is their presentability. you know, communication skills, how good you speak in front of the camera, all of that is important. But your presentability is very important because you're catering to millions and millions of people all across the globe who are watching. So these things start taking care initially, and then it's going to be very fun.